communication, a key to every team sport. Greetings from PESN Studios. I'm your host, Mr. Mair, and this week we're serving up some hand striking skills for our sport skill development break. Sport skill development. As we go up to Mr. Mair, he's going to break down the major skills used in volleyball, called the bump or dig, the overhead set or pass, and how to serve in the game of volleyball using the underhand serve or the overhand serve. That's right, Mr. Mair. I'm about to take you through the major skill sets used in the game of volleyball. Now, like you said, volleyball is a game of hand striking. That means there's no catching or throwing in this game. It's all striking skills. Now, the game is started with a serve, either an overhand serve or an underhand serve. And then after that, the desired hitting sequence is bump, set, spike, or a dig, overhead set, and then a spike, a scoring shot to try to score in the game of volleyball. And you can learn all these rules at mrmairsphysedpage.com. But right now, I'm going to take you through how to do the bump or the dig in volleyball. This is usually used after a serve or after a spike. So the other team has just had a scoring shot, like a spike, and it's coming to me. I need to be in an athletic stance. My feet are shoulder width apart. I need to be able to move right or left. And here's the key to the bump. Remember, it's all hand striking, so there's no catching. And the spot you want to strike the ball is between your wrist and your elbows, both hands. Now, one of the common mistakes when doing the bump or the dig is students or players like to interlock their fingers. That's a big no-no. Now you have an uneven hitting surface, okay, to make the trajectory of the ball go right or left in the wrong way you want it to go. So you want to make a fist, take your other hand, wrap it around that fist, thumbs together. Now you have a nice, even hitting surface. And if you need to, go one-handed. You can easily break your hands away to go right or left hand to try to strike the ball. So as the ball's coming to you in your athletic stance, your hands are set. You want your elbows locked out, and you're going to come through and hit the ball in the direction between your wrist and elbow where you want it to go. It's usually used as a pass to the next player, who's then going to try to overhead set the ball. That is where the ball's coming up high now because someone's bumped it high in the air who's trying to pass to you. You're going to get in your athletic stance, feet shoulder width apart. You're going to try to get underneath the ball. Hands are like in a triangle. I like to rotate my hands in a little bit, and I kind of put my index to index, middle to middle, pinky to pinky, ring to ring, and it's like you're swimming through the water. And you're trying to set this ball really high, and I can't demonstrate too much because of the ceiling, but you want to set it really high for the next player to come up, jump as high as they can, and it's like an overhand throw, but you're striking it, and it's called a spike, and it's a scoring shot that's really hard for the other team to try to dig or bump. So the overhead set looks like this, right? And again, it's a pass to one of your teammates. Now, we went over the bump, we went over the set. The spike is just a really hard overhand shot that you're trying to strike the ground of your opponent's floor. But the game is started with the serve. Now, there's a variety of different serves you can use. I'm going to start with the underhand serve. We've gone over the underhand throw. So the underhand throw would be step straight, bring it back straight, follow through straight, and you're stepping with your opposite foot. We're going to use that same basic concept, but remembering it's a striking skill. So what I want to do is hold the ball steady out in front of me. That is the key point. One of the most common mistakes I see students do is they want to move this ball or they want to toss it up and then try to hit it, okay? Which creates a moving target. It makes it more difficult to do it that way. So I always say, hold the ball steady. Tee it up like a tee in T-ball. Tee's there to make it easier, right? So you tee it up nice and easy right out in front of you. You're going to bring your arm straight back. The contact point here is the bottom half of your hand, the heel of your hand as I like to call it. And I'm going to step straight, bring it back straight. Don't move the ball and make contact and follow through. Point right where you want that ball to go, okay? If the ball lands out of bounds, it's a point for the other team. So you have to get it within the boundary lines of your opponent's court. So I step straight, bring it back straight, follow through straight, and that is how to do the underhand serve. Another example of serving in the game of volleyball is the overhand serve. And in a previous video, we went over the overhand throw. T-L, well, do the T-L, step towards your target with your opposite foot, rotate, release, and follow through. T-L, step, rotate, and follow through, throw. So, same basic concept, but remember, this is striking skills. So how do we do that? Well, you're gonna set up like you're about to throw. The ball has to go in your opposite hand, and this is where it gets tricky. You're gonna toss the ball up, and I toss it straight up from where I'm at, right there. So then when I take my step with my opposite foot, I'm coming through, making contact with the bottom half of my hand, the heel of my hand, right, so it's right past my nose, and then I'm gonna follow through and touch my knee. And I wanna make sure I'm making that contact so it can go over the net. Usually the better serves go to the back row to make it more difficult for the other team. So I'll toss it up straight, and then I'll step with contact, follow through, and that's how you do the overhand serve. As you get really advanced, some players can even do a jump serve where they take a couple running steps, throw it up, and then jump, and like it's almost like a spike from the service line. All serves have to take place behind a service line that's behind the out of bounds line. Well, those are your basic skills in the game of volleyball. There's a lot of impromptu shots. Ball's coming at you real fast. You might have to extend with one hand to get to it right or left, okay? And there's some other shots. A lot of times the dig or bump has to be over your shoulder. You're coming this way, trying to get the ball going that way, but the only way you can get to it is the bump this way. So there's a lot of creativity used in the game of volleyball as well. And another very important thing in the game of volleyball is communication. You've got to be able to talk to your teammates. If two people go for the same ball, you're going to have a lot of people colliding. So usually there's communication of mine, got it, something like that to tell your teammates, hey, I'm going to make this play right now. You get in position to either receive the pass or be ready for the other team to spike it back. So you can. Thank you, Mr. Mair, for teaching and demonstrating those skills. For written instructions on these, go to mrmairsphysedpage.com. Then click on your grade level. If you're kindergarten through second grade, click on the hand striking skills page. If you're third through fifth, click on the volleyball skills. Or if you just want to learn more about the sport in general, click on sports units, click on volleyball. Here, you're going to have a whole history of the game, the rules to the game, and all the written instructions on how to do the volleyball set, the bump or dig, and how to serve overhand and underhand. Now, Mr. Mair, not too many people have access to a volleyball court at home. Are there any alternatives for students at home who don't have access to a volleyball court to practice these skills? Of course, Mr. Mair. There are some fun striking games that you can play without a net. One of those games is called Pepper. Pepper can be played, well, with usually 2 or 3 other people. It can be even in a bigger group. The rules to Pepper are you can't hit the ball twice in a row. You can only hit it once. And you're trying to pass it to as many, to your teammates as you can. All right, so you get in a big circle or a circle, and you're using your bump, your overhead set, or your serves. You're going to try to pass the ball to one another and see how many times you can hit the ball in a row before the ball hits the floor. And you got to work on your communication, mind, got it, those types of things to improve your volleyball skills. So that is one example. If you're not advanced enough, you're in kindergarten through second grade, I usually have those age groups practice the game of Pepper with a beach ball. Now remember, you can only hit the ball one time in a row. For instance, if I was playing with 2 other people, I couldn't just sit there and say, hey guys, we're doing amazing. That's like 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, and it's just you doing all the work, doing the striking, all right? So you can only hit it one time in a row. So if I hit it, someone else on my team would have to hit it. I could hit it again, but not twice in a row. And that's an example of a game called Pepper that can be played. Now, another game that's fun that uses hand striking skills is a yard game called Spike Ball. Now, I know not everybody has this set up. You can get these at your local sporting goods store. Okay, it's a little circular net like that, and you play with other people. And the rules are you have to stay in back about 3 feet, and you start with the serve, and it hits the net, and it bounces off, and you have to spike it back or strike the ball back. So it hits that, and you alternate turns going back and forth, trying to make it so that your opponent can't hit the ball back after it's hit the net. So those are some fun hand striking games. You have Pepper, you have Spike Ball. Those are both games you can play without the use of a volleyball court or net at home. Fantastic. Those skills look like a blast to practice. Did you know that there are not only men's and women's 6-on-6 volleyball in the Olympics, but there's also 2-on-2 beach volleyball played in the Olympics as well? For some highlights, check these out.
Miller there to Taylor Morgan. She could feel that Taylor just had one blocker in front of her.
Just her second kill tonight. This season, the lowest attacking numbers of her career. Powerful swing from Sweet, came back over off the McGraw dig. Off a free ball, Nebraska to the pin for Sweet. Great job by Kilkelly controlling it. Kubik, and now Sweet the swing. Bump set from McGraw. Sweet, again this time, kept up and off the antenna.
Oh, what a dig again! Magnificent rally. And still it's going. Clever play.
That's it for today's Sports Skill Development Breakdown. I hope today's episode has inspired some future volleyball players. Yours in kindness, health, and physical education. I'm Mr. Mair. Stay fit, friends.